let's check in with Biyu. Now that Biyu is in the imperial palace, she'll be given a living quarter in the many gardens of the palace. Girls will be arriving from all over the kingdom, some from noble family like Biyu's, while others are ordinary citizens or even peasants who are randomly selected and came either of their own will or are forcibly kidnapped. There will even be foreign girls from countries like Korea and Mongolia. From now on, she'll be here competing with thousands of other girls for the emperor's attention. Some will never even see the emperor, but they are free to wander about in the palace's many gardens and live a life of comfort and luxury. She is now a concubine. Concubines are not considered official wives. They are considered part of a quasi-matrilineal relationship, lower in status than compared to wives, but they are actually quite common for rich men in China. This was also a symbol of status and power. For those who have favor of the emperor, their goal will be to become a consort. Now back to Li Wei. Li Wei arrives in Beijing. The last exam will be the most difficult one yet. At this stage, examinee will usually require the support of a more wealthy syndicate, usually a member of an extended family or a friend. They will not only require money for the materials needed, but also the education at an esteemed academy in preparation for it. Being a peasant, Li Wei can only hope for a sponsorship. If this doesn't happen, the chances of even attending the exam are slim next to none. Let's say that after doing so well, Li Wei has caught the attention of a noble who wishes to support him. Now he enters a Shuwan academy to study until the exam day arrives. Obviously, the noble is not doing this for nothing. His goal in promoting Li Wei is that so if he does get a permanent, lucrative governmental post, he will also benefit from the connection. Since Li Wei is doing so well, let's see what Biyu is doing. The emperor has come to visit. He can choose from any of the concubines to spend his time with. The concubine's only purpose is to service the emperor, and the massive number of them is to ensure that the emperor has a good chance of producing a healthy male heir, and of course to entertain him as well with their skills. But majority of the time, the ladies are free to wander about in the palace. This life of service doesn't appeal to some concubines though, and many have tried to run away. If they do attempt to escape the Forbidden City though, they will be executed on the spot. So it's best to just stay put for now and gain the emperor's favor with the possibility of gaining more power. Here's a general hierarchy of the ranks of consort Biyu can become. The ranks of the consorts aren't rigid as under the Ming Dynasty, but the titles are determined by the number of maids each consort has. These maids are to follow the consort everywhere and attend to their every need. Say Biyu has serviced the emperor well and now has his favor. She is officially a consort, and she wants to compete for even more power. In order to do so, she will need to give birth to a male heir, and be the first to do so. As she is able to do this, she will officially be in running for the title of empress. The title of empress wields much power, right under that of the emperor, and when the present emperor passes away, her power will increase. This is because as the mother of the new monarch, she still commands his respect, one of the Confucian values, filial piety. Now, before we say goodbye to Biyu, let's see some other aspects of life as a concubine. They practice fort binding, so they can't run away and have to be carried most of the time. They can be killed or forced to commit suicide to be buried alongside the dead emperor, and some can be even given off as presents to other kingdoms' kings or lords. The day has come. Li Wei has prepared all his life for this. The room he'll be taking the test in is a small cubicle, something like this. The examinees will spend several days and nights in this tiny confined space. This were no surprise and happened quite often. The examinees will write 8-legged essays, which are based on the exact recalling of the great Chinese classics, particularly those of Confucius. Memorization was more crucial than imagination here. The core works comprise about 400 characters, and this is about half the length of the Bible. The answer was to be in 8 sections and could be no more than 700 characters in length. During the Ming Dynasty, only about 200 candidates passed this level each year, so there were only about 3,000 top scholars at any time.
Created using Powtoon.